While you're waiting for me or waiting for your class, students are starting by putting their divisibility rules into their notebook on page 9. And then they're watching the Ed Puzzle, Divisibility Rules, and then we're going to do some work. Today's date is 9/22. Make sure I put the date in there. Tape the 4 corners. If we're in Google Classroom, this is how it's always going to be set up. It'll always be at the top, September 21st to the 24th, so that you can find your assignments when you're not here on Wednesday and Thursday. I will put zeros in. Friday, I sit down, I grade your stuff. If you don't have it done, I put zeros in. I don't wait. So here's Monday. It doesn't say that anything's due here because the assignment is below it. That's where you're going to upload the picture of your 50-word quick write from Growth Mindset. That was yesterday. Today, if I look under here, again, there's no due date. These are the resources. It's saying what we did in class. We put the divisibility rules in our notebook. We watched the Ed Puzzle on divisibility rules. And now we're going to figure out how to use Kami so that we don't always have to take pictures of things when it's an easy worksheet. Here's a due date. That means something is there for you to pass in. It says due numbers 1 through 10. Click on the PDF and open with Kami. And I have directions right here. The very first PDF is about how do I open Kami, which I'm going to show you in class today. But I also put the directions there. I'm very visual. I take screenshots, and it's very self-explanatory when I put stuff in. And if it's not, you need to let me know. It says open the PDF, click on open with, and then you click on Kami. There's no excuses not to get your work done in this class, but I want to make sure that you have everything that you need to be successful at school. All right, so it says we're going to click on the PDF, divisibility rules. There's the PDF. If we're going to use Kami, everything has to be in a PDF. So when I click on the PDF, it brings me to this page. That means that you can do this for science. You can do this for Springboard. Anything that's in a PDF form, you can use this, okay? And at the top, there was nothing there when I went away, but if I go up to the top, it says open with. I know mine says open with Kami. Students usually go here with open with, and then annotate with Kami. All right, here we are. This is going to happen every single time that you go to write something. You should have your divisibility rules open next to you as you're answering the questions. That's why we put notes in our notebook, so that if you know how to use your notes, you're going to do awesome on quizzing and testing. But if you don't use your notes and you don't know how to use notes, you're going to be flailing. All right, here we go. I'm going to use the drawing tool. Normally, I would use a text box. If I clicked on that and then I clicked on the page, it's going to ask you to make a copy. Okay, I'm the owner of this, so it's not going to ask me. Normally, I would use text box for things, but because we're just trying to put a check mark in the box, I'm going to go with drawing. I want you to pick a color that's not red. Please never use red on this in a text box or anything. Pick some other color because I correct in red. And then when you click on your paper, it's going to ask you to make a copy. So go ahead and do that. Make a copy of it, and then we're going to start. When you upload this assignment, you're in Google Classroom, and you go to here, and you go to View Assignment, okay? Mine's not going to do this because I'm the teacher. When you go to View Assignment, it has that little checkbox that says Create or Do Your Assignment. You're going to go to Drive. This paper right now is in your Drive. You don't have to take pictures of it. It's automatically in your Drive, so you just upload it from your Drive. All right, here we go. Divisibility rules. The rule for 2 is 135 divisible by 2. Why not, Joseph? What's the rule for 2? Has to be an even number in the ones place, and it's not even. Divisibility rule 3, Tegan. What's the divisibility rule for 3? So what does that mean? What do I have to do? You add up the numbers. 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Can 3 go into 9 evenly? That means that this number is divisible by 3. And I'm just going to write the number 9 over here because that's the same rule for 9. I don't want to keep adding it up every time I get to 9. I just want to see the number that I added up. How about 4? What's the divisibility rule for 4, Soraya? The last 2 digits side by side. It's 35. Does 4 go into 35 evenly? No, so 4 does not work. And how about 5? What's the divisibility rule for 5, Boston? Correct. Does this number end in a 5 or a 0? Yes, it does. So 5 works. It has to end in a 5 or a 0. How, Bobby, what about the divisibility rule for 6?
It has to be divisible by 2 and.
So it's divisible by 3. Does that mean that 6 works? No, it has to be 2 and 3. What's 2 times 3? 6. That's an easy way to remember the divisibility rule for 6. It has to be 2 and 3, not just one or the other. And divisibility rule for 8 was not in the video. It's the last 3 digits side by side. So I can erase this. I would just come down here and see, is 135? It only has 3 digits. 8 goes into 1, no. 8 goes into 13 once. 8, subtract, and we get 5. When I bring down this number, does 8 go into 55 evenly? No, that means that 8 does not go into 100. It's just a little bit of work for the 8.
I thought it was the 3 numbers combined.
No, just it's exactly like rule 4. If rule 4 says the last 2 digits side by side, that means rule 8 would be the last 3 digits side by side. Okay? 8 doesn't work. How about 9? What's the rule for 9, Joseph? So you got to add up the digits, which is why I wrote this number over to the left, right? Does 9 go into 9? Yes, so that means that 135 is divisible by 9. Tegan, what's the rule for 10? Does it end in a 0? No. Moving on. 46. Soraya, is 46 divisible by 2? Why? It ends in an even number. And Boston, what about, is 46 divisible by 3? Why? So you add up the digits for rule 3. Is 10 divisible by 3? No, that's why 3 cannot go in. Divisibility rule 4, Bobby. Yes, there's only 2 digits, so the last 2 digits is 46. Does 4 go into 46 evenly? 11 times 4 is 44, and 4 more would be 48, so that would be a no. Joseph, divisibility rule 5. Is 46 divisible by 5? And Tegan, rule 6. Is 46 divisible by 6? No, it doesn't have 2 and 3. Divisibility rule 8, Soraya, says the last 3 digits side by side, but we only have 2. So is 8 times anything 46? No. 6 times 8 is 48, so no for 46. Divisibility rule 9. 9 is exactly like 3. 9 and 3 are the same. Right? You add up the digits. So that's 10, and 9 does not go into 10. What about rule 10, Bobby?
No, it doesn't.
Wow, looks like 2 is the only one then.